Hey folks, Merry Christmas season. Merry Christmas season. You know, Christmas is not a day. Christmas is a season. Christmas, Holy Innocents, Holy Family, Mary Mother of God, Epiphany, Baptism of the Lord, birth to the embarking of Jesus onto his public ministry. We celebrate this season, second most important season of the year, second only to Holy Week and Easter. And we keep all these things in our heart because in the midst of this Christmas season, much like there is, say, much to unpack during the Holy Week and Easter season, we have much to consider here too. And one of the things to think about with Mary, let's say with this feast of Mary, the Mother of God, there's a couple of things just to hold close in the heart. And one of them reminds me a little bit, and maybe you too, of your childhood. You think of the experience of growing up and living in family. And I hope everything was good in family life, that your experience of family life was really, you look back on it with some fondness and some love for your parents, that it was a good experience. I know not everybody had that opportunity, I'm sorry. But in the midst of all this, let's consider, let's say, that just the very special love you had for your parents didn't surpass anything in the world. Perhaps only just God surpassed that. Love of God, love of parents, like your whole world. There are other important people in your life too, right? Hey, your grandparents probably meant a lot. Maybe you had a favorite aunt, uncle. Maybe there were cousins. Maybe there were some people at school who really made your world very special. You had a special love and a care for them, but it never kind of got to the level of the love you had for your parents, right? Because your parents weren't like number one in that, at least among the people here on earth. So we keep that in mind, that we have our parents and like we had everybody else. Well, an interesting way to think a little bit about Mary is that, let's say we have this Christmas season that we have the birth of Jesus. And we recognize Jesus as part of the Trinity, Father, Son, and Spirit. And we love God with, what's the phrase? Words beyond all telling. Mary holds a special place in our heart. Not quite where God is. In fact, for people who kind of read things about church, we talk about love of God, and we talk about Mary and the saints, that we venerate them. It's a special love, but it doesn't quite reach the level of how we love God. God is at the center of our lives. Mary and the saints, important, but not quite where God is, right? So we keep this in mind. But still, we recognize that just like our grandparents played an important part in our lives, maybe I'd say an indispensable part in our lives, or say your best teacher, your favorite teacher, important people who were pivotal in your life, Mary is certainly pivotal in our lives of faith. For it is Mary who says yes to the angel in the Annunciation. Her yes makes it possible for the Christ to be born. And we keep these things in our heart. It's important for us to remember these things when we talk about relationship. For Mary is, let's say, as some people like to put it, she is the first of the apostles in a sense. She is the one among the saints who is always the one who, when people ask her, when people try and heap praise upon her for being the one who brings the Christ into the world, she always says, oh no, listen to my son. Follow my son. He is the one. She always defers because she's pointing in the direction of her son. And now we think about our lives, given good gifts by God, the experience of baptism, the experience where we are filled with God's love and gift and grace. May we now go out into the world like Mary and the other apostles, and we point out the Christ to others. Follow him. He is the one. Listen to his word. Follow his ways. So, like any good mother who always seems to be pushing her children along, raising her children and lifting them up, may we keep in mind something about how we are followers of the Christ. And we listen to Jesus. We hold him and all of his gifts in our hearts, that we might give them away freely to a world that hungers and thirsts for all that Jesus has to offer. So hey folks, let's keep these things in mind. We are so thankful for Mary and her yes, and the pivotal role she plays, that her yes makes possible the birth of the Christ. Now, filled with the gift of Christ, the one who guides us, let us go into the world and share him with everyone we meet. Hey folks, Merry Christmas season.